Hi guys, and welcome back. It's Marie here. I'm not introducing it as my nails because this is art stuff. Now I have, and I get, and I don't know how much I've hauled these and my other ones. Just opening the box. I have these. They're Chameleon Pens, and I will set up I'll show you what they do in a minute, but I have them, and then I have this box full of, it's the refill inks, so that one's the black one, and then there's spare nibs in this box. So all these black boxes, I think I'm only missing one colour, which is the olive green, in this pack. I think it's some, yeah, olive green, this one here, that I don't have. Now, it cost me $138 for all of that off of eBay. And then the refills are $8 plus postage. And I did get a really good deal off the person I bought the refills off. That's her card. I wonder if we can see her. That's where I got the refills. I couldn't find her on eBay this time. So these are, like I said, these are all the refill inks. Now this is the colourless blender, which is really, really important. And it comes with a syringe to do the refills. And then just put this, sorry guys, Devon, it comes with that. It comes with some cotton in case you need to redo the lining of the stuff. Instructions. I have a pair of tweezers in here to change nibs out and stuff. And then this bottle has very little in it, so I needed some more colourless blender. And I'll explain why before I open the parcel. Let's just put this stuff. Oops. I'm dropping everything. I should leave it down there, but I'm not going to. So, because what happens, I'll just move the parcel, is this is a colourless, you get a colourless blender pen in it. You get a black pen, but you also get, this is a marker pen as well. So I've got two blacks. But what happens with these, and it was such a good idea, so you get, this is a pen and it has two nibs. You can see the two nibs. This one is Summer Sun. So just, okay, so that's that full strength. Okay, so at the end of the pen, if I come back so you can see the whole pen, this little container here actually holds colourless blender in it. So what you do is put it on the end of your nib, hold your nib up like that. I'm just going to try and quickly sit. I don't know if the camera, if you can see, but it's gone from a really, really dark yellow to, you can see, so the colourless blender has soaked in. So I'm just, oops. So it's soaked in now. So now I can start. And as you can see, I'm getting different shades of yellow, of this yellow. And I could still keep going because my nib's still not solid. It is now. So I love these because with my colouring, I think they're absolutely fantastic. So I had to, as I said, I had to get some more colourless blender. Because I haven't been able to use these pens, and I love these pens. Absolutely love them. Love them more than my Faber-Castell or my Touch ones that I've been getting from Hong Kong. They're good, but not as good as these. I love these because I can colour and do it as I go, you know, and like I said, as it's dried, now you can see there's like a lemon, this part of it's more a lemon yellow and it just fades to the darker. Should turn the light on, hang on. Yeah, the light helps better. So you can see the different range of colours that I get on it. So it's awesome, love it. So I've ordered 2 more colourless blenders off of eBay. This company, did they put anything in? No, they didn't. If I think about it, I'll link who I got this stuff off of this time, although it is an Australian company. I'll just cut the sticky tape off the backs of one of these so you guys can see. So, new box, and it'll have the same as what the old box has. There's this, which again, like I said, it's to cut up and put in your pen because, you know, it might need, that's your, what's the word I'm looking for? It's your filter or holds it in the pen. There's my syringe. Instructions. Okay, so there's my syringe with its little nib. The instructions, it is super easy. To do. This isn't hard. So they tell you to do it on a flat surface. You take your nib out, you fill this out, insert it into your tank, you fill it up, you put your nib back in, put your lid back in, and you're done. Okay, so that's how easy it is. It really is simple. And this is so it's 25 mils. Okay, so that's that bottle. I always check because it is coming off eBay, and even though they're sealed, you know, I always like to check and make sure that the products that I'm paying for, that's what I'm getting. Okay, this is one's in a darker container. At first I thought it was black, but it does say the colour, the Splendor. They've just changed the packaging, and that one actually looks fuller. Not by much, but I guess that must be a little bit of evaporation. So, okay, but it's definitely new packaging. Okay, the boxes look exactly the same. That hasn't changed. Just the bottle itself. Okay. Maybe that's what they've done it for. They've done it in the darker, because you're not supposed to store it in the sunlight. Maybe they've Chameleon's done the darker bottles so you don't have the problem with evaporation with it, because I thought I'd seem to go through it very, very quickly for what I'd done, but then again I had used them quite a bit, so I sort of let it go. But I do notice that evaporation was a bit of a problem, and I just store them in a cupboard. I make sure they don't get any dark sunlight at all, so they're just in that, and I make sure that they're stored somewhere. So I wasn't 100% sure, and I'm just looking. Okay, so I got two new colours. So this one is facial tones, and I was just looking at my set because it's skin tones. Okay, so I was just looking at what I've got: burn umber, caramel, light peach, sand, and nude. Now in these I've got this one here that looks familiar. It's called bisque, fawn, bark. So I have none of those colours in that set. So that is awesome, and I will try them in a second. And the other one is, this is flower tones. So floral tones it's actually called. And this has mauve, which I have in here. I'll just show you quickly. You can pause it and look, but I've got deep violet, bubblegum, and purple, or grape as they call it. And in this one I have dusky rose, peony pink, fuchsia, lavender, and mauve. So I'm just going to pause the camera. I'll open these up and we'll give them a test go. So also, because I'd showed you the packaging, it comes with this little booklet that, again, if you want to read it, you can pause on it. It just tells you about their pens and the tonal ranges and how to achieve them, and then it has the tonal ranges, explains natural highlighting and depths of shades and techniques about blending colour tints. Frequent troubleshooting. So I forgot to show you that. Okay guys, welcome back. So I'm just going to get these new ones. So this one is the Dusty Pink. So it's PK2. So I'm just going to put the blender on it, and you have to hold it vertically. Okay, so you have to, otherwise it won't, the blender won't blend through. So Oops, I'll just come down here a bit so you guys can see. And then you start, this one's going to be off cam a little bit. The watercolour wasn't such a good idea paper, but anyway, I'm just going to move the camera back. So, and you've got to make sure that both ends are closed. So I'm just going to go through as quickly as I can. So as you can see, it takes a little bit to get used to using it. You sort of get into a bit of a rhythm. And depending how long you blend it in, depends on how much colour blender is released, but just for the purpose of getting out so you can see the gradual fade, which I know at that angle you really can't see, so I'll show you when I'm finished, because I have already done my old set. So I did the purple grape, the deep violet, the bubble gum, and the crimson red, just so you could see the difference in the colours in the original set. And now you can buy all their latest colours, because there's a set of 5 greys, blues and earth tones, and they're $35 for the 5, or it's $168 for the full set of all the new ones. So that was the last one in them. Gee, I did that fairly quick. This is the nudes. And like I said, we only need a couple of seconds because I'm just swatching live on cam. Well, on cam, I shouldn't say live, but on cam for you guys, so you can see what I do, how I do it, and the process. And then I did, well, they were pretty dodgy. I sketched 2 very, very dodgy little flowers, because you don't actually have to keep using this fluid blender the way I'm doing it. You can blend colours and use the colours mark pen toner that you've got in the set. I'm just showing you that I love this set, and I love this idea when I came across them, and I actually saw a video on the Chameleon Pens, someone hauling them on YouTube. And because you can attach the colourless blender to the end of your pink, it means that you can get different tones of the one colour. You can, not only can I blend the pens that I've already got, and get different colours, but it also means putting the blender on the end of the pen like I have. I can get these different tones. Let's stuffed up the caramel one a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You know, so I can get lightest caramel to darkest. So this one's a burnt umber. You've got to remember to hold it up like that. If you hold it the other way, all you're doing is releasing the ink into the nib. And you can't, like one of these cartridges, you can't just say, well, I'll just use one and swap it from every colour, because what I have found is that also with the darker colours, it does leave a little bit of ink behind, and there's a little bit of ink that gets left on the nibs in the colourless markers, so you can cross-contaminate your colours. So, oops, okay, they are from my old set, the purple grape, the deep blue, deep violet, the bubblegum, and the crimson red. And then these are the new floral tones. There's the dusty rose, peony pink, fuchsia, lavender, and mauve. So when I do that, it's just a really nice extra little set of tones. So this is the browns and the neutral colours in the old set. So you've got bark, hot cocoa, fawn and bisque. And the fawn and the bisque I've been using for my skin tones. And then this is the skin tones. So that's the nude, the sand, the light peach, the caramel, and the burnt umber. So here are my two dodgy little flowers. That'd be right, there's nothing convenient. I'll just put this down. So I'm just going to get this red, and I'm just going to put it here, and I'm going to put it here. And it's the same thing too, like I'll deliberately go out over the lines. I'll just put the lid on that. And I'm just going to grab my colourless blender and take the lid off it, which I was struggling. And you can use the colourless blender to get rid of that. It doesn't, what I found is it doesn't get rid of all of it, and it's, like I said, it's not so crash hot. It's not so crash hot on the water paper, colour paper. And it's actually removing my pen. But you can see there I've just lightly blended that through. And then get my orange, an orange. The same thing then. Here, I don't have to get I don't have to use the colourless blender end. I can just do that, and then I can get the colourless blender, which I've got in my hot little hand, and just lighten and blend that way. And that's really messy and bad. But as you can see, the colour blender hasn't really dried up here yet either, and when it does dry, it does leave a faint stain, but then you have your background on it so you don't really notice it. Okay, so I'll just hold this up. So they're my old colours, they're the new colours. So in wrong way around. I like to keep the blender ends down, and I always make sure, like, I always make sure that everything's nice and tightly on. So again, this is the first set. So without colour, including the these two, which is the detail pen and the colour Splendor, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 colours that I got in that first set, and it was $135. This is the outside packaging. I've just taken it off because it's a pain in the ass to use. So that was around the black box. Okay. And you can pause on it to read it. But it shows you, what did I say, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can get 10 different shades according to them with their markers. So, and it says 22 pens. Okay, and at the time last year when I bought this, this was the biggest set they've done. They've released new colours. So what I also did, so you guys can see, is because I always have with anything, any of my coloured pencils or anything, I do a little colour chart, so you can see all the colours. And these ones here, like this green, it actually needs new ink. So do these two blues and these two purples. If you look at the ones that flow really well, so I can, by looking at this, I can actually see which ones need new ink. Okay, so I will at some point do a video where I do some, whether I do create a drawing or do a colouring in sheet that's on thicker paper. The water paper isn't really good for these. They do bleed. Okay, I mean, this isn't the world's best watercolour paper, it's just a cheap one. Okay, so it's 190 grams. It says it's heavyweight backed, but this is just for me as a colour chart. And when I get, like I said, I want to get the earth tones, the greys and the blues. So when I get those, I will swatch them out for you. I just have to be careful with these new colours because I don't have the refill inks for them. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, keep safe. Bye for now.